But yesterday, Ukraine's foreign minister announced his government's aim to have a peace summit by the end of February with the UN and the Secretary-General as a possible mediator. Could that be the beginning of the end of war in Ukraine? Well, joining us to discuss the issue now, international security expert Will Geddes. Will, thanks for coming in. Good to be with you again. As we speak, we're getting these reports of the air raid sirens going off across all of Ukraine. And this does seem to be the future for operations at the moment, that even though the Russians aren't succeeding militarily on the ground, they're attacking lots of civilian targets with air power.
Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, Mark, it's literally trying to smash the will and determination out of Ukraine. Because the one thing that we certainly know with Ukrainian people, and certainly their efforts in this conflict, is that they have proven to be far more robust and resilient than the Russian troops. And they're winning on many, many different levels. I mean, certainly the retreat by Russian forces out of Kherson was a huge psychological damage to their troops, the Russian troops on the ground, and a huge psychological advantage to Ukraine. So what the Russians will be doing quite simply right now will be to sending in various different sporadic IDF or indiscriminate direct fire into basically the local population to try and crush their will.
Yeah, and we've seen them targeting the power supply network quite effectively, because obviously until they get the Patriot air defence system, they're still using Soviet-era air defence weapons.
Yeah.
But given the fact that we've got the winter now and we're unlikely to see much movement on the ground from either side, is this why they're starting to think about some kind of diplomatic solution?
Well, a bit of both, actually. I mean, we know that certainly in Afghanistan, when I was down in Afghanistan, certainly this was after the Russian conflict down there in Russia trying to occupy Afghanistan, that one of the things the Taliban had to their advantage was that they were defeating Russia and really, again, destroying their capabilities in Afghanistan during the winter months.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that many people find it very surprising, Mark. They think that Russia, being a very cold nation, or generally regarded as a very cold nation, they would be more prepared for fighting in those kind of conditions. However, it is a brutal and savage winter. And although Ukraine will be wanting to, again, regroup, as Russia will at this particular time, not to try and push too hard whilst it is winter warfare, I think this is the moment that Ukraine will push through. They will continue to take ground. They're certainly annexing or re-annexing Crimea. We know that their missiles and their capabilities can actually reach those resupply routes that the Russians are taking.